As promised, the Huff is back. Cady Huffman is here. Jason Cicci is here as well. We're talking about something that's happening wonderful with Sacred Heart, the summer film program, Movie Maker, and registrations are coming up now for the July sessions. And so we want to find out more of it. First, I will defer to the young lady from California. Miss Huffman is back. And so we welcome you and thank you for being involved with this. We'll tell how people can get involved because we especially want young people to get involved. But I want to welcome you back. As always, you're busy. You've got award-winning this, award-winning that. It's not enough. You have a Tony on the mantle. You got to have more.
Absolutely. More. Why not?
But besides being greedy, she's very talented and can help people. Now, Jason Cicci is a guy who I think he has dedicated his life not just to creating, but to helping others to be involved in the grand profession. Now, I have to ask you, Jason, not related to Willie Cicci of Godfather
the assassin
fame?
on The Godfather? I would like to say yes in many ways, but I am not as far as I know. Always nice to have an assassin in your back pocket, though.
That's what I say.
Right?
You know?
I as an Italian-American, though, we did take a lot of pride knowing that our name, including the subtitles spelled correctly, is in The Godfather. So.
Yeah. Well, as someone who grew up a stone's throw away from the gaudy, let's put it, social club.
Nice.
It's just like, darn, we know it's bad, but wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah, wouldn't it be fun if we were invited over?
Yeah.
I know. Why is it so charming?
They probably have the good antipasto.
I'm sure they do.
And
the selfies you would leave with
Oh.
just...
The best Chianti.
the best everything.
And you might end up on a wiretap.
Ooh. I got nothing to hide.
There you go. So let's talk about Movie Maker, a summer film program. Jason, I'll start with you because you have been behind helping so many people over the years and continuing to do so. So I want to find out a little bit. The concept of Movie Maker is
to empower young storytellers to share an on-camera story of some kind, hopefully some sort of personal story. I find always to be more compelling, but we really just want to provide them with the tools to go out and do this themselves. With the advent of cell phones now, anyone can go and make a movie. You can make it in your hand, basically. So we just want to show them the way to tell the best story. Everything from creating the story, coming up with an idea, building a script, casting it, finding locations that are maybe not so challenging to get on camera. I know a lot of times as a producer, writer myself, I've said to myself, why did I write that?
I can't shoot that.
I can't shoot at Yankee Stadium. Why did I write that scene? And then, I find some clever way to get around it. And at Movie Maker in particular, our classes are at the Community Theatre in downtown Fairfield, and those are the environs of the theater and that complex are the inspirations for all of the stories, which is kind of great. They come out so interesting because there's a stage involved and backstage involved and dressing rooms, and all of those environs are really rife for compelling stories.
And you take the individuals from start to finish, really.
We do. At the beginning, I asked them all, how many of you have made a film before? And very few of them have actually made a narrative short film of any kind. Maybe they've made videos for social media platforms, but nothing that had a story to it necessarily. So, and I think the first thing for them that's daunting is, how do I come up with a story? And I say, just look around. Or what's something that you were currently frustrated by? Did someone betray you recently? What's going on in your life? What are the things you want? What are the things you think you want? And how might that change? And then really just looking at, look at that couch. What could happen on that couch? What could happen in the bathroom? What could happen at the concession stand? So, and then they start thinking, something happened to me the other day that I always thought that I was like, there you go. Let's start to write it down. And then they say, how do I write it down? And we put up some software I kind of show them how to bring this idea onto paper. And then after we do that, then we show them how it's probably going to change when you're actually shooting it. Because that's a totally different animal than your imagination when you're actually in the space itself, that there are challenges that go along with that. And then their creativity comes into play with making sure the story is being told, no matter what that means. So then once we get it in the can, then we go up to the Martyria building on the SHU campus, where the incredible faculty people there help them edit and give them little tutorials and music and sound effects. Which is an incredible tool in telling stories. So they really, from soup to nuts, are getting a full filmmaking experience. And then we show them on the big screen at a big premiere.
Yeah, and one of the great things about it is it focuses on the kids who want to make the story as opposed to the actors, which actors get so much attention in after school, programming.
So true.
And these are more the kids who want to write it, produce it, direct it, get into that side of things.
It's very true.
It's a very different group of kids.
Very different group of kids. I love them all so much. They're kids that don't perhaps have this sort of opportunity in their schools or in these after-school programs where acting or singing or dance is sort of the curriculum that's being taught. And I was asking any of them if they had any aspirations to act, and I think they 100% said no.
Yeah.
And
then they have to act in these films.
And then they act in the films. And then after a couple of them said, I think I'm more interested in acting now. They really enjoyed the experience of it. So opening them up to something new is always exciting to see.
Now, Cady, despite the fact you're no longer an ingenue, you are now a starlet.
How dare you?
You're a starlet.
Is that what I am?
Yes.
Starlet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
If only.
That's what it says on paper. Next step, starlet. You have benefited from the expertise of
Jason
Jason.
Cicci?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, it's how we met.
I think she helped build my expertise.
Well, we did. We've worked hard together. Mm-hmm. But we did. We first met on his first web series called He's With Me. Terrific couple of seasons. He got into that, and they needed a very funny part. A very funny part. I don't remember who was it. Ryan who introduced us.
Yes.
One of the other actors, and there I was on the set, just suddenly working with Jason Cicci.
And it was a crazy day on that set.
It was a crazy day.
And as the producer writer of the show, I was particularly nervous because we have Cady Huffman here today. And we also had Deborah Jo Rupp from that 70s show.
Did.
We had a lot of that was a lot of wattage taking place in my kitchen where we were shooting. It was a long day, and she was such a trooper. We didn't know what to expect because
never met me.
I never really met her.
Hilarious. I was booked for 2 days, and we shot everything in one.
In one day.
So I didn't get paid for that second day.
That's guerrilla. Let me write. I'll write you a check later.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can.
But I think we grew up with this indie filmmaking sort of feeling because at the time He's With Me was being made, there were web series, but it wasn't like what it became. And
then we discussed. I said, if you were going to write a web series for me, what would it be?
And I promptly said, I have no idea.
You made nothing.
Nothing.
So we met at Italy in the city and chatted. And chatted about my life and experiences, and started developing. Cady did, and both of those did very well. I won an Indie Series Award for He's With Me.
Yep.
And then Cady has won 5 Indie Series Awards. Yep. So yeah, we've had fun creating. We created that together. Jason's definitely the writer. We both produced it, and then hiring everybody around that stuff. And prior to that, I had produced a film back in 2000.
In the actual film.
In days. Film, shooting film, which is so crazy now to think of shooting film. But see, we have both been very interested in how to tell stories.
And it's such an exciting...
on any screen.
It's an exciting space to be in right now, this indie space. Yeah. It's to be able to tell stories with not a lot of equipment or anything, just your your characters, your dialogue, your situations, and to be able to tell a story that way is really given so much power to storytellers who otherwise wouldn't have it. You used to have to, like we mentioned, like it would have to be on film. And now it's very expensive, but now it's not. I mean, I can produce something so much cheaper as an on-camera story than I can on the stage. Seems nuts, but that's the truth of it.
That's true.
Well, and the whole idea of getting people started while they're young is, I think, a marvelous idea, because I've always been in the adage, you're never too old, you're never too young.
Absolutely.
And the younger you could start, you look for a leg up, you know.
It's so true.
And there are so many avenues now for people to travel
So many
to
more.
get their entertainment or their stories or whatever. So many
more.
avenues. So why not find your little hotspot, your groove, your comfort zone, and find out if you really like something. The time to do that and the time to be exposed to that is when you're young and your brain isn't full of schmutz and worried about all this other stuff.
That's so true. Cady and I were both young people who started young in the arts, and it's fueled me my whole life. I mean, it's all I sort of know professionally, and it's always
so interesting, because when we were young, you did not carry a phone in your pocket. You did not carry a camera in your pocket.
Yeah. P.S. Those were really nice times.
They were beautiful times. We loved it, but it was very theater focused.
Very much.
And now, I mean, really impressing upon these kids what power they have in their pockets, that they can really get their voice heard. And just keep doing it. Just keep shooting your friends. Write, shoot, keep, and really
It's true
start
that
expressing yourself.
There's no way to know if you're going to like it or even be good at it unless you keep doing it. I was just telling this story the other day, doing some teaching about how I created my own show because I was looking for more experience and exposure as an actor on camera. And so I create this show for myself, only to discover halfway through shooting the first season that I don't really like acting on camera. I think, I had never had that much experience doing it. And then when I did, I was like, I don't feel like this is what I do best. And that's when I discovered that I think what I do best is writing and producing on-camera stories. So I found my space by just throwing it up against the wall and seeing what happened. So, and then of course we had to make a whole other season of the show, and you'll see a lot less of me in it.
Okay.
You gotta know what you like and what you don't like.
I want to make sure that people know that Movie Maker, the summer film program, is now enrolling for the 2024 sessions. And the sessions are going to be July 8th through the 26th. That's session 1. And July 29th through August 16th. That is session 2. And they can get all the information they need simply by going to SHU Community Theatre.org. And we always try to point out theater is an R-E at the end, SHU Community Theatre.org. And people can get more information on that but it's geared toward those of a younger persuasion.
High schoolers.
Yeah.
Yes. I hate to say high schoolers because it makes me sound like an old fart. So,
It's a room full of old farts.
Well,
Well, it's kind of fun, though. I mean, I have done a lot more teaching and a lot more producing and directing as my life goes on, and because I'm only going one direction. This is it. And I love it. And I am very inspired by what the young kids, their ideas, their generation is different. They've been through different things, the pandemic, and, the world has changed so much. I'm very inspired by what the kids are coming up with. And,
and they're so bright and they have such incredible ideas. So when they meld those with what we see at the theater complex and they come up with this idea for a film, I'm like, wow, I never, ever would have thought of that.
Yeah. And when you can really develop confidence in this kind of environment, which, Cicci definitely provides, right? It's your chance to really do this, to really write it yourself, shoot it yourself, edit it yourself, of course, with guidance. I'm only there to help them with the acting part of it. That's it. Since none of them are really there for acting. So I'm just there for that. So
But it's a
Jason
great
really.
vantage point having Cady share what it's like to work with incredible film directors as she has, or just to work in the business with such talented people for as long as she has. It's just awesome to see it on their face, like, oh, like she's actually worked on sets with these people.
Yeah.
So even though she's coming at it from an acting point of view, it gives them so much more because they know that what she's been exposed to when she explains her career.
And just the technique of shooting for film, acting on film is just slightly not what you think it is.
No, it is not.
So interesting, just the different literally paths you walk so that it looks like you're walking a straight line is sometimes a very curved path, or your eye line. Keeping the eye line consistent is really crazy.
There is all those things that they learned, and then
close-ups and
a lot of them, if they would say what they would want to do, would probably be a director. So much of that is working with actors. So for Cady to share what her experiences are like working with directors and how to speak to them to get what you need out of them is a really big component of what she does. So
Huge.
That's really important.
And how not to turn every video into a pet video. Okay?
Come on, you're talking to the wrong people there. We think every pet video should be a pet
Oh my God!
video.
If I could direct pets or animals, I would.
That's why I'm glad young people will be involved. They'll learn in advance, unlike friends of mine who, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you the new house we moved into. So they start going around the house, and then of course the cat is doing something.
And there's your star.
Absolutely.
There's your star. Right
And there we go.
Star.
It's 5 minutes of the cat doing something.
We're both guilty of this,
We're
by the way.
totally
Bart.
guilty all day long, sending each other animal
I
videos.
was hoping you would show me the man cave, but no.
No,
It's
but look at the cute
Oh,
kitty.
look at that kitty.
Look at the baby.
I know. MovieMaker's Summer Fill program now enrolling 2024 sessions. Session 1, the July 8th through the 26th session. Session 2, the 29th through the 16th. Sacred Heart University Community Theatre. And just go to SHUcommunitytheatre.org. You can get all the details and learn. These young folks can learn from professionals. Cady Huffman, the Huff is
Huff.
She promises that she'll bring all of her winning trophies.
Is that what I do?
Well, you come in, they're carrying you on that little throne thing.
Well, that's how I do get around Fairfield County.
Yes.
On my pallet.
There you are.
A little chilly sometimes.
And of course, Jason Cicci, who has done wonderful things despite not being related to Willie Cicci. Just
So far as I know.
so far.
Yeah. Who knows?
As you know. Anyway, no, and Jason's done wonderful things. Two of the best, and you never know who may just suddenly pop in. Either way, it is something for you to look into for the high schoolers out there. So I urge you to do that. Can't thank you enough for being here,
Hey,
Cady.
thanks, Bart.
Bart, thanks so
Fantastic.
much.
So
Very
appreciate
sad
it.
you're not going to be on this season of
Oh,
Blue
shut,
Bloods.
stop. It's over. Sid is dead to me.
Sid. There you go, Sid. And Jason, thank you.
My pleasure, Bart.